Well, good morning. It is Sunday, the 22nd of April, about 8:22 in the morning. This is our test flight number 3, and because there's storms to the south, down by St. Louis, we're going to go ahead and go north again. So back up to the Nodine VOR, which is just west of La Crosse, Wisconsin, and back. The weather today, cloudy, but they're way high. There is a high pressure system sitting over Michigan, which puts us on the southwest side of that high, so we got easterly winds. Currently, winds are 0.70 at 11, and they're supposed to pick up as the day goes along. Today's flight is going to be just another 2-hour thing, an hour up, an hour back. I am going to talk about airspeeds. We touched on that in the video before, but I'm going to show you how to calculate, or how I calculate. Hold on here. How I calculate true airspeed. Make sure we're clear. In the Comanche. And that's about it. We're on our taxi out now. Everything checked out pretty good. I think I'm going to have to run back up to Heritage, though. I got a left strut is down about 1/2 an inch from the right, and I don't know if I am cleared across this. I don't know if I got a leak. I don't see anything, or it could be just the cold. Temperature today is about 50 degrees right now, 55 degrees, so it's not terribly cold. All right, hopefully the air is reasonably smooth. We're going to come up here and do our run up. That windsock is moving.
Comanche 28 Papa Quad City ground semi.
28 Papa to ground. Go ahead, sir. Quad City ground, Comanche 6928 Papa.
Comanche 69er 28 Papa Quad City ground. Sorry about that. Was La Crosse your final destination, or are you just going to fly over the VOR and come back?
Fly over the VOR and come back, sir.
Comanche 28 Papa, roger.
It's a test flight. I'm trying to get the fuel flow worked out in this 830 I put in. So anyway.
Comanche 28 Papa, roger. Thank you.
So we're going to do our run up here short of Delta. And oil temperature is up, so we're good to do that. And we'll turn into the wind. Brakes, okay, set. Brake set, doors and windows. I'll check these one more time. Cleared. Flight controls, free and correct. Flight instruments. Set. Directional gyro, double check it. That is correct. Throttle to 1500 RPM.
Comanche 28 Papa, did you want flight following or no?
28 Papa, yes sir, that's fine. I'll take flight following. 1500 RPM. For that oil pressure wiggle, there it is. We'll do it one more time for good measure. Really let it get deep. Okay. Throttle to 2000 RPM. Make sure we don't creep. And we check EIS. Drop of about 75. Back on. Comes back up. Magneto. She won't drop hardly at all. Maybe 10. Back on. Carb heat. looks good. All right. Idle to, or mix, throttle to idle. Good idle. Up to 1,000. Okay. Everything looks good. Amp meter, fuel pressure, everything checked out. Circuit breakers.
Ground squad 4.
Are all in.
Squad 4 ground approved on runway 5.
Approved runway 5, squad 4.
Radio set to tower. Trim. Final check. Primer is in and locked. Carb heat. Prop. Throttle is good. Mixture. We'll get full rich on our roll on. Flaps are up. Floor is clear. Pitot heat we're not going to need. Transponder is on alt. Fuel boost pump will get on our roll on. Landing taxi lights will get on our roll on. Strobes are on. Yes, they are. Call the tower.
Quad City Tower, Comanche 6928 Papa, intersection of Delta and Echo, looking to move forward to the runway, ready for takeoff.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City Tower, roger. Continue taxiing, hold short of runway 9er at Echo.
28 Papa, moving forward, holding short runway 9er at Echo.
Takeoff checklist. Throttle gauges, rotate 85, climb out. Brakes, gear, flaps, throttle, prop, cruise climb. Fuel pressure trim, mixture. Okay. This time we're going to try not to forget the landing gear, huh? Putting them up. Well, better I forgot it going up than I did coming down. All right, so here is Echo. We're going that way.
Quad City Tower, Comanche 6928 Papa, holding short, Echo and 9.
Comanche 6928 Papa, roger, standby. Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City Tower, turn left heading 050, runway 9er at Echo, clear for takeoff.
Left 050, Comanche 6928 Papa, cleared for takeoff.
Okay, boost pump, landing taxi, strobes, mixture, prop. And let's take the runway. Wind will be a slight left to right, not much. And the windsock is doing one of these numbers, so it'll just be a little goofy when she gets light. All right. Look at that windsock. Doing good, we're on the roll. Advance the throttle slowly. Left, right rudder, right rudder, right rudder. Hold center line. There's 70. Fuel, pressure, oil pressure, everything looks good. There's 85. We rotate. Brakes. Gear coming up. Pitch for 105. Gear is up. Flaps are up. Left 050. There's 1,000 feet. Alright, gonna be a little bumpy. Right at about 1,100 feet. Pitch for cruise.
Comanche 28 Papa, contact departure, have a good day.
28 Papa, over departure, thank you, ma'am. Quad Quad City departure, Comanche 6928 Papa indicating 1,500 in the climb.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City departure, radar contact. Climb to requested VFR altitude, proceed on course.
6928 Papa on course, climbing to 4,500.
Roger. Comanche 28 Papa, understand you're going to Oscar Delta India and then you're coming back to the Quad Cities?
That is correct, sir.
Roger.
Okay, so we want to be on 346. There's a tower in Bettendorf we got to watch for. There's 346. Roll out. And we'll back off 2,500 RPM. Keep the full throttle in because it gives it a little extra gas for cooling. Cylinder head temperatures look good. And we'll go ahead and shut the fuel boost pump off. Definite easterly wind. You can see it. I'm looking out. My nose is pointed there, but I'm actually flying that way. You can just kind of get the feeling.
28 Papa, reset transponder squawk 1325.
28 Papa 1325.
And we're climbing to 4,500. Oil temp, oil pressure, fuel pressure, amp meter, everything looks good. There's 3,200 for 4,500. Coming up on 3,800 for 4,500. Get my heading bug dialed in here. There's 4,000 for 4,500. Engine's feeling good, sounding good, temperatures are looking good. $4,400 for 4,500. Went right through 4,500. We're off by 100 feet. Correcting. We're going to correct. Visibility looks really good. A little hazy, maybe 25 miles or so. So we'll let her speed up. Introduce a little nose down trim to take the pressure off as our speed increases, and we are going to want at 22.823 is our starting point. .823, so 22.8. Back out the manifold pressure. First. 2300 RPM. .8, 23. And we'll let that kind of stabilize here. Now we are going to want to do a temperature conversion. 4,000 feet. Well, 4,100 is our pressure altitude. So standard temperature is 7 degrees and we are 246 degrees, so we'll leave that alone. All right, tracking right along here. Propeller mixture we got to get. Fuel boost pump is off. Check all of our gauges and everything. They look good. Heading indicator is good. Tracking right along. So let's go ahead and turn on our autopilot. Autopilot on. Heading mode on. GPS steering on. And we're going to do altitude hold on. All right. All looking good, so let's go ahead and do our fuel flow now. So we're going to back this off. I'm going to do, instead of 1400, and number 1 seems to be the hottest. Let me get this set on number 1. Exhaust gas temperature. We're going to set that at about 1370. I was doing 1400 before. We're going to try 1375. .76, 1380. All right, now we're going to let that stabilize. Give it a minute. Yeah, the visibility is pretty good. I thought it was going to be hazier than this. Clouds are way up high. Here at 4,500 is smooth. We do have a target 2,500 feet below us, about 5 miles out. Keep an eye out for him. All right, that's no longer bouncing around. So let's go ahead and hit the lean fine button. We are rich at peak. Now we start leaning until it gives me a peak indication. Not too fast, not too slow. There's leanest. So number 2 is leanest at 1,362 degrees. So now we're going to go rich of peak, 100 degrees on that cylinder. So we're going to slowly start feeding back in fuel. There's 40 degrees, rich of peak. $60, feed in a little bit more. There's 75. Isn't this exciting? It's trying to get it to its best operating setup. And this is why FADEC is so popular in aviation. If you can just have one lever and the computer does the rest. I think we're going to have to try that again because I am way rich at peak, but I actually am at 4,000 feet pressure altitude. Yeah, see, she's just not going to 100 degrees rich at peak. All right, let's try this again. We're going to exit that. We're going to lean. We're going to go back. We're going to try it like we did it the first time, 1400.
Comanche 28 Papa, contact Chicago Center, 133.905.
33.
692 Papa, over to Chicago, 13395. Thanks, sir.
Yep.
Chicago Center, Comanche 6928 Papa, level 4,500.
Number 6928 Pop, Chicago, good morning. The debut call altimeter 3034, maintain VFR.
3034, we'll maintain VFR.
Okay. So we're going back into this. Great. We got to go to the 1400, and I'm going to try lean fine. We're going to go back number one cylinder. That seemed to work last time. One second. Okay, so there's 1400 degrees on that cylinder. We're going to let that stabilize. I think that's 50 degrees rich of peak. There's Maquoketa. We're just going over Maquoketa Airport. bit of a tailwind. We're 149 knots. Time to switch tanks. Fuel boost pump on. Right main tank left off. Fuel boost pump off. We'll call that 5 gallons. 23, and we're on the right main. Okay. So that should be a minute. Lean fine. Rich a peak. Now we're just going to start leaning it out. Venus number 1. Okay, so now we're going to enrich it. 100 degrees. Definitely a wind from the east. You can really see it today. Anyway. I'm going to have to play with that some more. Enriching it. There's 80.
Convoy 4006, descend and maintain 14,000, the Oshkosh altimeter 3040.
87. Okay,
American
so
186,
that's about as rich as it's going to get today. Okay,
3.35.
so we were going to talk about true airspeed. We're going to talk about true airspeed and how do we calculate that. In an earlier video, I went over, the different, like you have calibrated airspeed, true airspeed, ground speed, right? And there's some additional airspeeds, but for today's talk, we're going to talk about calibrated airspeed and indicated airspeed. Ground speed you can get from your GPS, or if you have a device that uses the radio beacons and measures signal speed between them. It's called DME, distance measuring equipment, will give you ground speed as well. So, indicated airspeed, what is it? Well, it's simply what the airspeed indicator indicates. Complicated, I know. But, and I've mentioned this in a video before, that is the airspeed that the wing actually cares about. Because that is going to let you know, if you're getting close to your stalling speed. Now, of course, you can stall the wing at any airspeed. It's just a matter of angle of attack, but it'll tell you where the wing is flying through the air, where it is.
Envoy 4006, contact.
Calibrated airspeed is your indicated airspeed corrected for installation errors. And that you'll find in your flight manual on a lot of planes. And because the engineers, well, they figured out what that is. So if you go to section 5 of the Comanche manual, or most manuals will have that. And for pilots, they already know all this. This is boring. For learning pilots, your CFI will go through this with you in detail. And
Air 037, cross cutter, 14,000.
this is more for the non-pilots. It's just some of the math that we do, trying to figure it out. So what we're trying to get at is what is our true airspeed. So true airspeed is what we actually want to understand, because we need that for a flight for flight planning. So you got to take your indicated airspeed, convert it to your calibrated airspeed, then you run it through an E6B, which is a slide rule. I have one on my iPad, but I'll show you what one looks like here, because I carry one in my bag. So this is a flight computer, and it's a slide rule. Has two sides, one for measuring your wind drift and how to correct for winds aloft, so when you're plotting a course, and this is a whole other conversation, this thing. And the other side is a flight computer, where it's a slide rule. It'll convert airspeed to true airspeed once you have a couple of inputs. It'll do gallons per hour, miles per gallon, all kinds of different calculations. And that's what it looks like. It's just it's a slide rule. It's a slide rule to measure wind drift and angles and all different kinds of things. Anyway, back in the days before GPS and before iPads, pilots would use this a lot more. And actually back in the days when we had Connies and airplanes carried navigators that were shooting stars through a sextant to find their position. These were very important tools for both the pilot, the navigator, the engineer. All were, the flight engineer that kept track of fuel burns and all the rest of that. Okay, so that's what an E6B looks like. Fancy name for a slide rule, but it's an aviation slide rule. A lot of fun to play with, and it's kind of nostalgic, So true airspeed. So we go to our E6B here. What we're trying to get to is true airspeed, so we can see how fast we're actually going through the air. As you go higher, the air thins out. The airplane can go quicker through it because there's simply less drag. Okay? Your airspeed will indicate something less than what you're actually doing because the air is thinner. So right now, if I come to my E6B, I need to input my indicated altitude, which is 4,500. My altimeter setting, because pressure matters. And right now we're under a high pressure. 30.34. My outside air temperature, because that comes into effect, and we are at 4 Celsius. And now my calibrated airspeed. So my calibrated airspeed, right now I'm 155 mile an hour indicated. You come to section 5, and there is a table that you got to find. Right here. Airspeed Calibration. Right? It's got flaps extended, flaps retracted. So my flaps, of course, are retracted. I'm indicating 155. So I am, there's 2.5. I am roughly 2 miles an hour. I need to increase at 2 miles an hour. So 155, I'm 157 miles per hour calibrated airspeed. We enter that. And that tells us we're right now at 70% horsepower. We have a true airspeed of 165 miles an hour. Now you say, well, that's not a big difference, Mike, 155 or 157 even to 165. Well, as you go up in altitude, that gap increases. So it does matter as you get higher. So our density altitude is 3,700 feet. Now you can go to your where the book speeds should be chart, and we know what our density altitude is. The E6B calculates it for us at 3,700 feet, so we're going to say 4,000 feet, just a little lower than that, at 70% horsepower, and we're going to come down, and I should be 172, and I am 165. So I'm 7 miles an hour slower than the book. And that's it. We got a little bit of a tailwind. That's because that also, you know, if you continue that down, I should be 149 knots, and my ground speed right now is 151. So there's a slight tailwind, just a couple knot tailwind. Winds from the east must be slightly behind me at this altitude. And that's it. Exciting, I know, but now you can flight plan. You know, I know, okay, I'm 5-7 miles an hour slower than book. You can. How long is it going to take me to get to my destination? Now this is before.
Would like flight bound to Tri-County Airport.
He's northeast of Dubuque. All right, he's over here. So.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Can you say that again?
Dakota 211 Charlie.
So now you know. All right, how long is it going to take me to get from here to here? Do I have enough fuel on board? That's why it's important. That's it. True airspeed.
Would like traffic advisory.
So I got another 35 minutes to my destination. I'm going to go ahead and shut the camera off here. I'll pick it back up when we're headed back into Moline. That's it. Thanks for watching. Talk to you a bit. All right, welcome back. We are 16 minutes north of Moline. Uneventful flight. We flew up. We did a turnaround at the Odine VOR and have been flying back. Air's been relatively smooth. We're at 5,400 feet. I was at 5,500, but the altimeter level has been dropping here as we've come back to the south. The barometric pressure. Talked to Moline. Winds are 09016. So they gave us they want us on a left base for runway 9. Don't quite have the airport in sight yet, but it's 33 miles out. I think I kind of see it. So that's it. We
AC 5610 descend and maintain 3,000.
We are going to go through our before landing checklist.
I apologize. I thought I gave you that on initial contact.
We have the ATIS. The approach plate we don't have to worry about. The GPS we don't have to worry about.
Help you out a little bit. I can do that.
Comm radios. We want tower in here. 119.4.
AC 5610, roger. Traffic you're following is a citation.
Ground 121.9.
He's out of 3,000 now, and cleared visual approach, runway 9er.
Okay, altimeter is set at 3028.
And citation 30 Delta, traffic a low-level helicopter at 1,600. He's on about a 2-mile
heading indicator is correct.
Runway 13 at this time. It looks like he's just going to
don't need an approach timer, and let's go ahead and switch
he is with tower.
to our fullest tank.
Citation 30.
So we're going to give it 5 more minutes before we switch that.
19-4, good day. 30.
And we're ready for the before landing checklist. Seat backs, upright, shoulder harness, everything's locked. Emergency gear lever is clear. Carb heat as required. Gear selector we'll get when we get down. Fuel boost pump we'll get. Mixture we'll get with our gumps. Prop we'll get with our gumps. And flaps we'll get on our short final, or on our final. That is about it. We're after landing checklist is next. So all we got left is gumps. And I want to switch tanks one more time. And I want to land on the right main, because by then it'll be the fullest. That's it. Now we sit back and we relax a little bit.
Quad C approach, Cessna 4352 Romeo has in view.
Skyhawk 52 Romeo, roger, thanks.
Yeah, ground speed has steadily gotten worse as the wind has picked up. We're now at 129. We're 150 going up, 129 coming back. You always have more of a headwind than you do a tailwind. Maybe that's another discussion for another video as to why that is. But you can literally fly 2 courses, and unless both of them are exactly, or even then, I'll discuss it in another video because it has to do with the way the airplane has to fly into the wind, has to crab to hold its course across the ground. That's an idea for another video. We're always fighting a headwind. Headwind's always more than the tailwind. Quite a bit of traffic around Moline today.
Medforce 1, good afternoon, Quad City approach. Medforce 1, roger, thanks, and Quad City altimeter 3028. AC 5610, contact tower 1190.4, have a good day.
All right, we're ready with our frequencies. Give it a couple more minutes and we'll switch back over to the right tank.
Skyhawk 52 Romeo, turn 10 degrees left.
10 degrees left, 435 Romeo.
Same consideration as last time. Davenport Airport's right there. So I don't want to be blasting across their area at anything close to pattern altitude. Because you got to remember the twins fly higher than the singles. So we're just gonna stay here. Okay, let's go ahead and switch tanks. Fuel boost pump on. Right main off.
Medforce 1, do you have the Orient
Left
antennas
main.
at about your 12 to 1 o'clock?
Right main on,
2.5
left main
miles in
off.
sight?
Fuel pump off. And that was about 4 gallons out of that. So we got 11. We're going to land on the right main. Okay.
Medforce 1 approach. Medforce 1, do you have the Orient antennas in sight at your 12 to 1 o'clock and 2 miles?
Go ahead and start our descent.
Roger.
And to do that, we're going to take off the altitude hold. And we're simply going to pull a couple inches of manifold pressure.
I have 52 Romeo, say heading.
435 Romeo 220.
And we're going to let the airplane start coming down until we start hitting some bumps.
Skyhawk 52 Romeo, turn left heading 200.
Left heading 200, 435 Romeo.
All right, down we come. About 400 feet a minute. We need to watch our cylinder head temperatures here. Take another inch out, inch and a half. We can't get that rate of descent to come up. Got the airfield in sight now easily. You notice I haven't touched anything on the yoke or trim, and we're right at 155 indicated. So you got to remember the airplane's trimmed for a speed, so it wants to hold that speed. If you read that stick and rudder book, it'll explain all of that. And now I just, I'm getting the rate of descent I want, and I'm not. I don't have to do anything with the yoke. It just holds that airspeed. And at that power setting, it gives me that rate of descent. We are going to need to turn slightly this way, because right now we're heading right for the middle of the airfield. Make sure we can identify where the Bettendorf antenna is. It's there. I'll go ahead and turn off the autopilot. I'm going to aim for a big building. It's the John Deere Parts Distribution Center, PDC. And it's a perfect target when you're coming in on land on 9. It's just the right place to turn from base to final. And you can see it from a long way because it's a big building. Now manifold pressure crept up because we're coming down. Pattern altitude Moline is 1,400 feet. We're just crossing over Davenport at 4,000. Their pattern altitude is about 1,600 feet, so we're plenty good there, plenty of clearance. I don't see anybody in the pattern anyway, but here we're starting to get a few bumps. Nothing major yet, just a couple.
Jumper 2 with you out of 2,300 for 12.
Jumper 1, Quad City approach ident. Denver 1, radar contact 2 miles north of the Geneseo Airport, Quad City altimeter 3027. And just confirm it's jumper 1, I'm showing you on a 0375 code.
Yep, roger.
Enriching the mixture a little bit.
Medforce 1, change to my frequency 120.7.
There's a
Medforce 1, Quad City approach ID.
Cessna 152 over here. He's doing a ILS. He's practicing
Medforce 1,
ILS.
Quad City approach ID, loud and clear on 120.7.
There's the bump start. Okay, so pull it back and start slowing her down.
Skyhawk 52 Romeo, turn left heading 180.
Left 180, 435 terminal.
What we're doing is we're just trimming for a slower airspeed, so we can continue our descent. Just not as fast.
Jumper 1, report 1 minute prior to jumpers.
Roger.
See that? Now I'm down 130 miles an hour, 500 feet per minute. I haven't thrown the legs out or nothing yet. It's just trim, and I've lowered the power setting. Because I want to keep coming down at 500, 600 feet a minute, but I don't want to go fast doing it.
Skyhawk 52 Romeo, 5 miles
All right.
from scrap, turn left heading 120, maintain VFR, cleared RNAV runway 9 approach.
Left heading 120, clearing RNAV 9 approach, 435 terminal.
Almost 2,000 feet, right over the downtown Davenport. Arsenal Island is here to our left. Largest employer in the Quad Cities. They make all kinds of, my grandpa worked there, machinist, make cannons and stuff there. I think they still do. Okay, there's 1,900 feet. I don't know if you can see PDC, but it's right there. So now, I'm going to pull level here. And we're going to increase the power just a smidge.
28 Papa, contact tower 119.4, and traffic to follow you as a Skyhawk on a 10 mile final for Niner.
6928 Papa over to tower. I'll be watching for the Skyhawk. 28 Papa. Quad City Tower, Comanche 6928 Papa, about 4 miles northeast of the field, looking for that Skyhawk that's on the ILS.
Comanche 28 Papa, Quad City Tower, roger, runway 9er, cleared to land.
Runway 9, cleared to land, 6928 Papa.
Okay. We're almost...
And Comanche 28 Papa, that Skyhawk's about a 9 mile final right now for GPS.
Roger, sir, thank you.
Had lots of time then. Into the wind in the Skyhawk. Okay, so let's get our gear down. Gear coming down. We're inside gear speed. All right, gear is down. Got a green light. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop. Now we got to get it down to flap speed. Gear is down. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop. All right, we'll pull some power. And we're going to get a notch in. There's 100 miles an hour. 1 notch of flaps. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop, speed. There's 90. Let's go ahead and put the second notch in.
Quad City Tower, Cessna 435 to Romeo with you, 2,000 feet.
Cessna 435 to Romeo, Quad City Tower, number 2, runway 9er, cleared for the option. After the option, turn left heading 050.
That's undercarriage, mixture prop. 2 notches in, we're at 90, that's right on where we want to be. Sink rate looks pretty good.
Okay, 435 to Romeo, traffic you're following is on a 1 mile base to final for 9er.
We'll be watching 5 Romeo.
Landing speed today is 75. Because of the wind, we're just going to give it a smidge more. And we're going to land a little bit long because otherwise we got to taxi all the way down there. Okay. We're at 90. Final notch is in. Undercarriage is good. Cleared to land. Runway 9. There's 80. Now we're on glide slope. We'll give it a little bit of gas. So now we're pitching for airspeed. Power for sink rate. And I'm just coming down. Just coming down. Need to come down and pull power. Float, take it into the nose up, keep the nose up, and let the nose down. Off the flaps. Flaps are up. Fuel boost pump is off.
Comanche 28 Papa, turn right, taxiway Echo, contact ground point 901 off.
Right on Echo, then to ground on 9, 6928 Papa.
Okay, so we'll Echo. Okay, after landing checklist and over to ground. Flaps are up. Carb heat is off. Mixture is lean for taxi.
Wind 090 at 15.
Okay, lean for taxi. Pitot heat is off. Landing and taxi lights off. Strobes are off. Fuel boost pump is off. Over to ground. Quad City ground, Comanche 6928 Pop at the intersection of 9 and Echo, looking to go to the T's.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City ground, taxi to the South T's via Echo Delta Kilo 2, cross runway 5.
Echo Delta Kilo 2, clear to cross 5, 28 Papa.
Warrior 32204, Quad City clearance, say request.
Okay. Excellent.
Warrior 32204, roger, understand 5500 to Canton, and stand by 1 second. I'll have a different code for you for flight following to get you down there, VFR, 1 moment.
So I hope everybody had fun. That landing I'm happy with. That wasn't too bad at all.
Warrior 32204, maintain VFR at or below 4,000. Departure frequency 133.27.
Now what I got to do is I'll record what my actual, or what this thing says I used for the final time. Then the fuel truck, I'll call, matter of fact, I should call the fuel truck now. We'll call the fuel truck, fill it up. And now I have 3. I can do the math to change the K factor in the machine, and that should put us closer. Let's do that. What is... Hold on here. Documents. Close. We're cleared across 523. Runway is clear. The sky is clear. We want Elliot's.
Hey, Quad City Ground, Warrior 32204 at South Tees with India, ready to taxi.
30.
Warrior 32204, Quad City Ground. Stand by one moment. There's Comanche traffic taxiing into the South Tees, and once they...
Okay, I've got Comanche in sight for 204.
Warrior 204, the wind currently is 100 at 13. Would you prefer runway 9er or runway 5?
I'll take runway 5 for 204.
Warrior 204, roger.
Elliot's Moline, Comanche 6928 Papa.
Aircraft, this is Elliot
Warrior
Moline, go ahead.
204, pass behind the Comanche traffic entering the South Tees.
Yes, ma'am. Could I get the 100 low-lead truck over to Hangar Echo 8, please?
Kilo.
Okay, pass behind the Comanche traffic and then 5.
Echo 8, ma'am.
Warrior 204, I missed it when you called me initially. Did you have information India?
It's affirmative. I have India for 204.
Roger.
All right. All right, brakes set. And it says I used exactly 35 gallons. Write that down. All right, everybody. Well, thanks. We'll see y'all later. Hope everybody has a good week. Bye.